Okay, this is Trophy Gold, a continuation of the Lies of the Sisters campaign. This is a short session. We are going to do Hearthfire. We wrapped up the Leviathan's Bridge incursion, and now we're going to do Hearthfire. Hearthfire is Trophy Gold's downtime procedure. It's also how your character sort of advances. It's what advancement looks like in Trophy Gold, but it's not so much a level-based advancement. It's not that at all. In fact, it's more of like a narrative advancement. We get to learn more about your character, and see, and you can also like learn skills and things as well. But truly, what we're here to do for Hearthfire is to see what your character gets up to when they're not in the dungeon, basically. So that's what we're going to do. The way I like to run Hearthfire is pretty much just go around the table and give everyone a chance to do one thing from Hearthfire, and then just keep going around the table until everyone's done. Usually you end by putting whatever leftover gold you have in your hoard. And so hoard is usually the last thing that you do. Even though it's listed first. In terms of the very first thing you have to kind of do for Hearthfire is you have to meet your burdens. And so either with gold coinage or by cashing in items worth that amount of gold, you have to get up to your burdens in gold. So everyone should do that now.
A couple of us met the burden through Leviathan's Bridge in the temple, right?
Oh, that's correct. Yes, actually, that is true. Those of you who did the, I think it was just two of you who did the sort of meditating on your drive at Leviathan's Bridge, you do not have to meet your burdens. You get all your stuff. It's all gravy today. Everyone else has to meet their burdens. So let's go ahead and do that.
Right. I have a question or two related to selling some items.
Sure.
That might get sold to meet my burdens here. That green gilded book, Eternal Glory, does that have ongoing role-playing value?
It had a great effect last time you used it, right? I mean,
right.
It just has whatever you make out of it, kind of like you did last time. So it's
okay, I'll hold on to it. Then it was kind of fun. Yeah. And then what else? Oh, this magical blue pearl. This is a question I've kind of got for trophy. Like, we find magic items.
Increase your burdens if you keep them.
Right, but then how do we find out what the magic is? Because I left a painting.
I'll tell you now. I'll just tell you.
Patience Davies.
I'll just tell you on Hearthfire. Which one is this?
This is where did we find this? It was in the Siren's Grove. There was a magical blue pearl on a small stand.
Oh yes. Yes. So the way I imagine it is like one of the things you're doing during downtime is you're finding out what your magic items do. I don't care to role play that, and so I just kind of tell you during Hearthfire. But the magical blue pearl lets you breathe underwater.
Handy for somebody who's a human.
Yeah, let's say it doesn't really do you much good, does it?
Who wants to buy it from me for 2 gold? And then let me ask, way back, like a couple sessions ago, I left that Aginos painting from Huntsman's Manor, I think.
Yes,
with Patience Davies to determine its magical purpose.
Yes. Remind me what the painting was a painting of. Do you recall?
Sort of a boudoir harem sort of painting. I don't remember quite exactly.
I don't remember
either. People being decadent and
yes, I remember that. So if I recall correctly, I did not write down what that one does, but I'm remembering what it does. So basically all of the Genos paintings function sort of in the same way, which is people who like observe it or contemplate it for a time, they have some sort of magical ensorcelment or they get some sort of magical power, right? And the painting was of like a sort of debauched, sort of like kind of decadent sort of palace scene or something like that, if I recall.
Right, so what do you breathe under the bed sheets?
Maybe not something so mundane as that. But if you focus on the painting, that particular painting, what it's going to do is, let me think, mechanically I need to figure out how I want to frame this, because I didn't write this down. I was just kind of hoping to figure it out as we went. But what I think what its power is essentially it actually acts as like a sort of like a sort of charm towards people who look at it, right? It's not mind control, because I don't like to do that in games, but it's a sort of like people who watch it will be like affectionate or predisposed to doing what you want to do, right? So if you have a place to hang it up and you have a place to show it, it's a way to sort of like get, you know, the rich and powerful say to do what you want, right?
Interesting.
Very powerful, but not like incursion useful, right? It's more like off the incursion.
I got an idea for it though.
Yeah. Any other questions about gear? Go ahead.
Osto got a belt studded with gems with a magical property.
Oh, yeah. That's in the incursion. Let me go find it. Give me a minute. I remember that's one of the items that Gabriel wrote.
Do any of you have a desire for this pearl? I might sell it to meet my burdens, but if one of you really wants it.
I won't be able to answer that until I have a lot of other magical item questions that I have to sort through.
Drew, that's a Sky Dancer's belt. Basically, the gems, it takes a little bit of training, but the gems let you levitate. You wear the belt and you can levitate. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Sarah. Or Gleneth.
So I actually wanted to ask about all of the marble effects, because I believe my now little tiny bird skull of a marble has a Gossamer Void portal effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's magical item burden causing.
So that one won't carry a burden. And here's why.
I appreciate that.
It won't carry a burden because it's a one-time use. So if basically you shatter that marble and a portal to the Gossamer Void appears. So
okay.
So you can keep that free of charge.
And then the Starlight Serpent I might have traded for the Abhorrence of Violence charm.
Yes. The charm, so what did we do with that charm? We gave that charm to, didn't we put that charm
I traded Ethelinda for the snake that now seems to like me a whole lot.
Oh, yes. The snake is not a burden for purposes of your burdens. However, the snake is always getting bigger. It's slow, but eventually it's going to be big.
I'll have a side conversation during Hearthfire, hopefully with Ethelinda, about asking what she might know about these particular snakes.
Except that basically one tried to kill them.
But I don't know that it's getting bigger, so I'm going to ask some really detailed snake care questions.
Absolutely. You can be learning about the snake as we adventure. Like, it won't be like suddenly big, right? It'll be,
one day, several months from now, I'll notice that it seems about twice the size it was when it started.
Right. Yeah.
And then I have a pair of magical squid gauntlets.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been a magical item kind of.
You all did pretty good on the magical items. That's because Gabriel loaded up that incursion with magical items. They improve your grappling or climbing. So as long as you are wearing the gloves, I will not make you make risk rolls to do climbing and grappling check.
Very fun.
Yeah. It's like a freebie climbing.
Sure. And grappling, or like if I'm.
Yeah, exactly. Like either like holding something or climbing something, right? That will increase your burdens. So if you keep that one.
Okay. And then there was a moon snail compass and a citrine blade tang with no hilt.
None of those are magical. They're just
delightful.
Yeah. Any other questions about gear?
I'd love to know what the message in the bottle said.
Oh yeah, the message in the bottle is basically it gives the story of what happened to the ship. You learned it sort of through the kid that was killed, but basically if you had read that first, you would have learned like the story of the ship, like hearing the song, wrecking on the rocks, being murdered by Siren. So that's it. It's otherwise, there's no use otherwise. So they were gonna throw it out into the ocean, and I guess the Siren stopped them. So they never got that far.
So that Gino's painting is titled "The Ecstasy of Remuneration on the House of Pleasure." I think what I want to do is keep it and hang it in the Sulking Auspicious Salt Father, since I'm the part owner there.
Yeah.
But if I'm not selling it, to meet my burdens, I either need to sell my bottle of swamp gas. Well, I need to either sell that magic pearl for 2 gold or sell that bottle of swamp gas for 1 gold to meet my burdens.
Yeah.
So are any of you dying to have that pearl enough that you want to pay me 1 gold for it?
The one that lets you breathe underwater. That's pretty powerful.
Right.
If I'm understanding where my burdens are at, I can meet them and give you 1 gold for that pearl.
Yeah, well, and so your increase in burdens for the magic items you keep, that's for next time. You only have to meet your initial, what you had today.
Well, then yes, please. I would love that.
Yeah, you only ever, your burdens is just whatever it is as soon as the incursion ends. And then you got to meet that. And then you have extra burdens for next time. So.
I see. Then yes, please. It will go with the rest of my marbles very nicely. I will give you this 1 gold wooden icon that we got while we were rummaging around.
I'm worried at some point you're gonna, try to put the water breathing marble in your mouth and open a gate to the Gossamer Void in your mouth and by mistake.
That sounds like
horrifying. I love it.
If I ever just need to be gone for a week, that's the move I'll pull.
Yeah.
Would anyone want the Skydancer's belt?
Nah.
I'm very tempted to be a flying bear, but I don't think my burdens can take it.
Well, it's just levitation too, so it's up and down,
Levitating bear is still kind of terrifying, so.
Although if you can configure some contraption that would cause you to move in air, I guess that would work too. So.
We need to call Scum.
Yeah, that was Scum's specialty. Yeah.
I just imagine Ghost Bear, how many people you could scare with the levitation. Just this much.
Yeah.
Looking at one other thing that's been sitting in my found items for way too long. There was the silver bowl with amphibian eggs from the Huntsman's Manor. Any reason to keep it? Did you sell it?
Yes. So that was in the Huntsman's Banner, right? And okay, I remember those eggs. So you can't carry those around, by the way. It's assumed that you've been leaving those wherever you leave things because they're too fragile. But the eggs, when hatched, will grow monstrous, gigantic centipede creatures.
Am I in control of when those hatch or not?
No, they probably should have hatched by now, but maybe who knows? They might have a long gestation.
They're waterlogged from all of the time.
Yeah. There might be something that causes them to hatch, right? So
I kind of feel like selling. Are they worth anything?
Yeah. I think you can probably get 2 gold for them, but especially an Ombret. But that's probably the best bet because these things cannot be tamed or anything. They're just like monsters. So.
And that Skydancer's belt, Drew, that costs a burden if you keep it. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. I think I'll pass on that and just stash 2 gold in that word.
Asto, did you not make your burdens?
Well, I got it met by finishing the temple thing.
Right. So do you? Oh, I see. For next time.
Right. Or just for hoarding.
Yeah, well, for next time, because your current burdens also are what? Yours are already 6, so 7 burdens is a lot of burdens. But not impossible, but tough. Okay,
and I'm definitely keeping these gauntlets.
Awesome. If you all are ready to go, if you've met your burdens, we shall continue on. I'm going to go in the order of the sheet. So, Gleneth, what's the first thing you'd like to do for Hearthfire?
As it is my first time, do you mind if we
Oh, we go in reverse order, absolutely.
Do you mind?
No, not at all. In that case, we shall go to not Duquesne, not Scum, sadly, Ethelinda.
Okay, I'm gonna heal.
Okey-doke.
So I'm gonna spend 2 gold to bring me back down to 2 ruin.
Okay. Awesome. Let's go on to Asta. What would you like to do?
He's going to rest at his house for a little bit and clear that swamp rot infection and hang the entirely useless holy charm on his wall.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Ethelinda, do you have a household? Because you get 1 healing for that.
Yeah, I already marked that.
Okay. Sorry, Asta, say that again.
Went to his house, cleared the swamp rot infection, and hung the entirely useless holy charm on his wall.
Nice. Are you keeping that as your memento?
I am.
Awesome. And you also clear a ruin as well. Let's go to Korkaluk.
Yeah, I'm also gonna recuperate in my workshop, patch up some of the damage, and eliminate the script by fear condition. I think I'm gonna hang on to the fused with a mangrove condition, in that I've been partially fused with plants for a while anyway. It just doesn't seem that seems more fun than negative, more beneficial.
Fabulous. What are you keeping from the incursion as a memento?
I feel like I want some little token of affection from Landor, or maybe not token of affection. That's the wrong thing. Oh goodness.
Lundar, the herbalist.
Goblin lad that I was engaged to for a while. Because he wasn't really into it. What would it be? But I want some memento. Anybody have an idea? I want a memento related to that, but maybe less romantic in nature and more like, here's a souvenir spoon from
a token of friendship. Maybe like
his father was an herbalist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, he sold herbs and things like that, and perhaps there was some packaging or some sort of like remnants of like packages of spices or things that you were collecting along the way, and maybe the smells bring you back there, something in that.
Oh, like a sachet of herbs or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little burlap sack with the logo on it, and it smells nice. Some oregano is what's in the chat. Nice. Oregano and quote marks. All right, I'll take some Seeker's Rest oregano.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Add that to your mementos. And so yeah, basically, Gleneth, you just or Sarah, you just pick something and that you want to do, and we do it. If you want to establish a household, most people establish a household in the beginning. That's the pretty common thing to do.
That was my first instinct. However, as I have joined the party mid an excursion outside of where maybe all of their households are, I don't necessarily know how to describe where it is. Or
don't even worry about it, because basically there's like weeks and months pass between the incursions. Like you can go to wherever and come back and join up later. So
marvelous. Then I would like to set up my household.
Perfect. So basically, first you have to answer, what kind of structure or environment is it?
Mm-hmm. So I actually pay 2 different households rent, and it's kind of it's in a town enough where they have 2nd floor buildings and attics, like with fairly, like the tallest building's probably a water vessel or something like that, but still, city street, main street, I would have an attic space and then a ladder across to the next one in the next house to flip back and forth between the 2, because I am on the run from some things, and it would be happy to occasionally vacate. I don't know where that. Yeah.
Just next door.
Yes.
That's good.
Never have a permanent address. It's just one or the other.
I love it. It's good. And yeah, and now, so go ahead and just like at some point, just write down in that line below, just describe that. And everybody else, we all get to say Something that can be found in Gleneth's household. These are mementos from either the last journey, or if you as individuals knew Gleneth before you went to Leviathan's Bridge in some way. But it could be really anything. I'm going to say you have I'm going to say that you bought in Seeker's Rest a patchwork quilt.
Maybe some of the seaweed from the same kind of seaweed that grandmother, I can't remember her name, but the grandmother.
Green teeth.
Yeah, green teeth.
A seaweed wig.
Yeah.
A seaweed wig on a wooden wig stand.
Maybe I had actually like woven it into like a hairpiece or something. Like I liked the look of how the seaweed draped, and it's just like something I can.
Well, it's in your house all the time though, so it's like
I see.
Yeah, so it could be like on a wig stand or something, right? Yeah.
When you complimented her hair, you meant it.
Brian or Drew, any ideas for something to put in the house?
Yeah, let's say this. Since I gave a bargain price on that water breathing pearl, let's say that I picked up a little gift in the what's it called, the salt market in Seeker's Rest. Is that right?
Yes.
It's a ball of yarn, but it's got a little bit of a twinge of fairy magic to it, in that when you're looking away from it, it looks like there's a kitten playing with it, but when you look at it, there's nothing there.
Nice.
And I think hanging on the wall is the slightly water damaged and definitely crumpled map that they used to find Seeker's Rest from the barge.
Good. Yeah, it's good. And all that stuff you can just, whenever you have time, Sarah, you can just write that in the mementos section down below of the household. Fabulous. Okay, and also when you establish your household, you have to increase your burdens by 1, but you do get to clear a ruin and any conditions you wish. Let's go to Ethelinda again. Anything else?
Yeah, so I have a question about my gear here. One of the 3 things that I started out with, I can't remember what it was, but I consumed it, like I used it or it broke or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So do I pay a gold to open that up just like the 3 below it?
What a good question. I don't think so. I think you always just have those 3 open slots, and then the other stuff is just like found equipment, basically. Like you can have an unlimited amount of found equipment.
Okay, so that will, I don't fill that up ever then. I just.
Yeah, well, so I mean, you could just, what you can do is just like clear the space just so you have space to write something. But basically, you just move the stuff from the open slots to your found equipment or to some other place, and then you can open that slot up.
Oh.
It's just so that you can keep using the drop down, right? So.
Gotcha. Okay. Then I will hoard my monies.
Cool. How much are you?
4 gold.
That's a decent amount. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Which option are you doing on hoard?
I'm gonna do a really easy one. What is it? I had it selected. In what way does your physical appearance reflect your obsession with your drive?
That is very easy.
Yeah, but I think on screen what we see is Ethelinda in front of that mirror that I described that shows her appearance without the rapid aging. And so we just see her like sort of meditating, and then it pans over and we see like the mirror reflecting her actual self, which is like 30 or 40 years younger or whatever.
Nice. It's like a reverse Dorian Gray. Foreshadowing the between. Good. Okay. Osto, anything else you'd like to do?
I think I'm just going to hoard my 5 gold.
Nice. Another good stash. Which hoard option are you going to be doing?
I think I will take which sister he's dedicated himself to, and That'll be Sister Agnidi, patron saint of lost children. And he thanks her for her help by, I think usually when he's back at the orphanage, he will drop a little token in on top of the hand that's holding a lantern. And when he's out in the field, though, to say his thanks, he mutters a small prayer under his breath. So next time I perform that rite in an incursion, I can clear an emotional or psychological condition.
Fabulous. Thank you. It's great. And Corpluck.
Quick question. I found a spear from that merfolk hunting party. Since it's a weapon, if I keep it, I have to increase my burdens. Yes.
You do indeed, yes.
All right, the last.
It's otherwise worth, I think because of its strange provenance, it's worth 2.
Oh, really? All right. I will then sell that and stash that in my hoard as well.
If it's just a regular spear, it would only be 1, but merfolk spear, come on. So you're just stashing in hoard? How much total?
4 total. Is that right? Yeah.
Nice. Go ahead and make one of your picks there.
So there's this narrative flashback showing a triumph related to your occupation. I feel like it's barely a flashback, almost a flash forward, but Korkaluk is in the Sulking Auspicious Saltfather, hanging up this Agenos painting, realizing that this will predispose people to look kindly upon him. I still have the bees kind of buzzing around my bonnet, and have realized that the combination of the carousing potential of being a part owner of this tavern, the ritual for the bees, which lets me gather information, and this painting, which predisposes people to look kindly upon me, have made me into a kick-ass archivist. I am the purveyor of information, or I should say we are the purveyor of information as the hive mind grows.
Fabulous, thank you. And let's go over to Gleneth. Is there anything else you'd like to do for Hearthfire?
As I set up my household, am I allowed to clear a condition and a ruin, or one or the other?
You can do all the conditions and 1 ruin.
Excellent.
Or as many conditions as you wish. You don't have to do, if you like your conditions, you can keep them. But
sure. I just don't want to be gripped with fear any longer.
Yeah, you can take that off.
No, I think I have nothing yet to hoard. I think I am good.
Fabulous. Did you have any money to put in hoard? Or I'm sorry, did you have any extra? Or no?
No.
Okay. All right then. Anything else before we wrap up Hearthfire? Okie doke. Well, in that case, let us, we're going to wrap this up. If you are watching the video, if you're one of the, I'm sorry, Sarah, were you saying something? Okay. If you're one of the 10 to 12 people who are really dedicated to this campaign and watch all the YouTube videos, we're taking about a month break from this campaign. We'll be back in about a month with Lies of the Sisters. But for now, thanks for tuning in, and thank you all for joining me.